Coach, we'll start with Niz, then Jack.
Yeah, Mike, with senior day on Sunday, happy that Xavier gets to get a proper send off and play in that game. And also, have you talked to Trey Galloway and Anthony Leal? Will they be participating in that? And have you had conversations about their future yet?
I don't know. I haven't had a chance to sit down and see what they're gonna do in terms of senior night. So I'll know more today when I sit down with them about that. I know X is gonna go through senior. You don't have a choice. But Galloway and Anthony, they do have choices. They could come back another year. So I don't know what they're gonna do. So we'll have to sit down and discuss that and see what they're gonna do.
Jack, then Zach Osterman.
Hey, Mike, I guess over the last 3 games, the team has shot the ball a lot better on this winning streak, especially compared to the 4-game losing streak. Why do you think that is? Is that better looks, confidence, better offense as a whole? What do you see as kind of the root of that?
We could just continue to work, and guys are starting to feel good about themselves. Having X back helps a lot. It speeds us up a little bit, and we're getting a lot more transition buckets where we're getting the ball up the floor, and guys are benefiting from it on the backside of passes. And that's what it normally happens when you make shots. Offense looks good and not hurting that we're playing pretty good defense and rebounding the ball with our opponents. So that helps a lot as well.
Zach, then Alex.
Mike, sorry, you had 28 assists on 30 made baskets the other night. You've talked about the impact of having X back. You've talked about sort of Trey's individual improvement running the point, but just what does it do for your offense having two guys that are so experienced? And obviously, when you look at their assist numbers, the way they can pass the ball, they can both kind of be primary offensive outlets for you in terms of getting you into your stuff, whether it's transition or half court.
Well, I've been screaming all along about having Xavier back. I think we're like 40-22 with Xavier playing basketball for us in an Indiana uniform, which is a pretty good, not bad record. He's missed a lot of basketball since he's been here, and we didn't bring him in here to be on the sideline. And unfortunately for him, he's had the injuries and we've suffered somewhat from it because he is a veteran point guard. Gallo is just starting to come into his own. It's, what you expect because he's a senior. He's not a freshman or sophomore anymore. He's a senior. So I've been harping, I expect that from him. I want him to do that. And he's been playing extremely well here as of late. But it helps a lot when you're making shots on the back end of passes. That's what offense is. You don't pass the ball to somebody for them to miss shots or miss layups or miss free throws. It all goes hand in hand in being a good offensive team.
Alex and Mike Schumann.
Thanks for the time. Appreciate it. I know you guys as a program put a lot of time and effort into recruiting. How concerned are you at this point, just in terms of how 2024, how the class has turned out to this point?
Well, again, I'm not even going to talk about recruiting with you guys. I'm just not. It's not, it's something we got to do, and this is going to be a big summer for us. We got to go out and get field players because we can lose players. You just never know. That's what the portal presents. So that's just kind of how I feel about it at this point.
Mike the Mason.
Yeah, Coach, do you have any update on the status of Anthony Walker?
Well, his MRI checked out pretty well. I don't know the status of him being able to practice today. As of yesterday, he was pretty sore, coming out of the MRI. So I'll know more the day when I get down on the practice floor to see where he is in terms of being able to play.
Mason.
Mike, at the beginning of this little 3-game win streak you guys are on, you guys talked a lot about needing to validate the defensive effort that you guys have been putting together. as this last game comes up and then heading into the Big Ten tournament, what's the key for you guys to continuing playing the way you guys have been?
Just got to keep working, man, and believe in what we're doing. In this three game stretch, when you look at our stat line across the board, it's kind of scary. It's nice. I mean, we've gone through stretches since I've been here where we've played like that. But it's kind of nice to see because guys, they haven't quit. They continuing to work and practice and trying to get better as a group, man. And that's kind of nice to see from a coaching standpoint. So, we just got to keep doing what we're doing and doing it at a high level and doing it for 40 minutes. I mean, that's the key. We've just been out playing our opponents, these last three games. We've been playing harder than those guys. And that's why we've won the last three, I think.
Zion and then back to Mike Niz.
Yeah, Mike, when you look at this Michigan State team, they played really well just defensively. And I know you guys did a good job scoring against Maryland in that second half last week. Just when you go against these teams that don't allow a lot of buckets, what's the easiest way for you guys to get good shots?
Well, again, I mean, we just got to just keep executing and doing what we've been doing here as of late. And we got to let our defense create offense for us. I mean, that's something that we've done too here of late. Michigan State is a good basketball team. They're well coached. They play hard, and we got to go out and commit ourselves for 40 minutes, knowing that we got to play just as hard as they play and see what happens.
All right, Mike, last one.
Yeah, you missed the first part of my question at the start. Just in terms of Xavier, how happy are you that he actually gets to be on the floor for senior day and play? Given what he's went through the kind of last 2 years, just to have a moment here in front of Assembly Hall.
No, it's special. It should be special for him. I mean, when you put 4 years, he's been 5, 6 years in college, a long time, playing this sport, man. And now you wind down and come to the end of your college career, man. It's a special night for him. And, I couldn't be more proud and more happier for X because X has gone through a lot, man. I mean, from the time I got him, I coached him, hard. I was tough on X, man. And X, he wanted to give you all he could give you. And the injuries just set in and he just wasn't able to be on the floor a lot. And so this should be a special night for him and his family, man, because now he's got to figure out, once he leaves here, where, what's next. I mean, that's the beauty about playing sports and getting an education. You still got to go out in the workplace and figure out the rest of your life. And, I'm going to always be there for him. If he needs me, I'm going to do whatever I can to help him, do whatever he wants to do in the next phase of his life. That's what, for me, that's what coaching is all about. So, but it should be a special night for he and his family, man.
All right, thanks, Coach.